and welcome to part 1 of the gold level in primary school computing. In this part we are going to be creating a maze. This is going to involve looking at some sensing which we haven't looked at before, and it's going to be using our usual sort of motion ones and our look ones. We're also going to be creating our own sprite for this one, so if you've already got the sprite in there, just click on the delete tool up here and then just click on the sprite that you want to delete. So first we'll create our sprite. I'm going to create a pretty simple sprite. It's not going to be anything amazing. If you want, you can use one of the ones that are already there. Sometimes that's a little bit easier if you're doing this with children. They may find it a little bit easier if you're using one that's already been made. However, for those sort of more artistic children, or if you yourself are artistic, then this could be more appealing to you. However, I'm not very artistic and this frog looks terrible. But you get the general idea of it. Probably should move it so I can actually get that leg in. There's a foot. Obviously I could have made this prior to the video, but I just wanted to show how I use some of the tools that are in here. It's a pretty simplistic, sort of standard paint tool. Okay, it's a little bigger one than that. And a big smile. Now I've used it all one colour because I want the outside. When we're using sensing, we need to have like one solid colour rather than like a black. So if you black outline everything, it's going to be very difficult to actually create a maze game that works to how you'd like it to work. So we just okay that in. We're going to need him to be a little bit smaller, so if we use the shrink sprite tool, and we'll just make him a little bit smaller. There we go. To get off the shrink tool, I just clicked on the grey area here. Same with the enlarge one if you want them to be a little bit bigger. Now, we need to create our stage, so we need to go into backgrounds, and I'm just going to delete that. Well, I can't delete it yet, but once I've painted, or you could edit the one that's already there. So you could either go into edit, or you could just paint your own from scratch, but it starts with a transparent background. So I'm just gonna, I think just editing the one that we've already got is gonna be a little bit easier. And that might be an easier one if you're doing it with the kids, for them to all just press edit and then set them a time limit to create a maze. I'm going to be using red, so when we're doing the sensing, when we're using this, when I click on the sprite, the sensing options that come up is if you press a certain colour, then you go back to the start, which is what I want. So if, again, like I said, if you've got black outlines everywhere, then it's not going to work very well. So I'm just going to create a very, very simple maze. This is not going to be anything adventurous, but if you got a little bit more adventure in you, feel free to make this 10 times more adventurous than I'm making it. I'm just going to move that a little bit further down. Obviously you could like copy and paste. I'm going to have to put in white in that background. You could copy and paste a lot of this. I think you've got a stamp tool. You could just copy bits and paste them back in somewhere, but you get the general gist of what I'm doing here. Obviously if you give the kids 20 minutes or so to do their background, then they're going to come up with something quite adventurous and interesting. Obviously for the first time you do it, it's probably easier if you just do it very simple, and then, or if you start off with a simple maze, give the kids a simple one, and then ask them to edit it and make it more interesting, because this can be quite boring. Or they could make it so it's more appealing to a certain age group, you know. So, going into the scripts, I've clicked on my sprite, so I'm doing the scripture for the sprites. We're going to go only face right and left, which we've done previously. I'm just going to quickly rename my sprite as a frog. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go to control, and we're going to do when this is clicked, which we've done before. Sensing. Right, what we need to do is we need to make our sprite move. So we need to do that using the arrow keys. We haven't done this before though, so this is going to be a new concept, so please listen quite carefully. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving our game some movement. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that when our sprite touches the red or the yellow, it's going to do something. So if it touches the red, it's going to go back to the start. If it touches the yellow, it's going to say you win, and then it'll go back to the start again. So what we need to do is we need to put in a forever if. First, we'll go to there. That should automatically be where your sprite is. So mine's minus 210 by y4146. Sorry. So we're going to put that in first. So as soon as the green arrows click wherever you are, it's going to go back to the start. So forever if, we're going to go to sensing, which is our new block for today. We're going to go touching a colour. Now it's already got a colour in there, but if we click the box where the colour is, we get our little dropper tool. Now if anybody used Microsoft Paint before, you'll have seen the dropper tool. Now all it's going to do is when we click on the colour that's there, it's going to take that colour. As we can see, it's changed that colour. So if it touches that colour, what's going to happen is it's going to go back to the start. Now we need another one, we need another if statement. So if we go to if again, and we need to go to sensing again, and touching a colour is going to be yellow. Sorry, I've just double clicked that. If we're touching yellow, we're going to say something, you win for 2 seconds, or you could do it a little bit longer, and then you go back to the start again. Now that's great. So we've got all that sorted, and we can test that out as soon as we've put in our movement now. To do the movement, we go to control. When something is pressed, so we're going to do the up arrow first. So when the up arrow is pressed, we're going to change Y. It's Y. Yes, it is Y. Change Y by 10. We're then going to do another one. We'll just do the down one. Down arrow. Motion. Change Y by minus 10. And then do the same for right and left. Right. Change X by 10. I think that's right. Yes, it is. When left arrow is clicked, motion change by minus 10 on the X. Now we can test this out. So start the green flag, and I am now pressing the down arrow quite a lot. I'm then pressing the right arrow, up arrow, right arrow again, down, right. As you can see my little things are flashing every time I'm pressing something. Up, and then right. Now as you can see, our little sprite doesn't say you win at all, which is a bit of a shame. But if I press the red, wherever I press red, I go back to the start. Again, I'll press the red over here, and we go back to the start. Now we need to fix what's happening to the yellow. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do another forever if. Get rid of that. Forever if sensing, touching colour, yellow, just see if that works. Going along, down, right. Yeah, that's working now. So if I come off it and go back on. Okay, so what I added in there is I added in broadcast. Now the broadcast sort of takes over everything, so it will do it regardless of what's happening. We can also try to add in the go to, because my little froggy has moved. I just wanted this one by itself. Oh, doesn't like me today. We're going to, we'll do that afterwards. Oh, I've muddled all this up now, haven't I? Say you win, then go to there. And we can see if that works. As I mentioned previously in some of my videos, it's best to check every time you add something new in. So again, just remind the children of this when you're teaching it, that things can go wrong, but every time you add in something new and then all of a sudden everything changes and something's gone wrong, then at least you know what element of your script has gone wrong, because you've only just added that in. So if you take it out, again, it's going to go back to the way you had it. But that is it for this part. If you'd like to tune into the next part, and we're going to be adding in some more variables, so things that are going to be moving around and stopping our sprite from getting to his goal. So thank you for watching.